you all are having a fantastic start to your day. Das, we've got you on, we've got others on as well. Hey, Libby. And hey,
Yes.
everyone who is tuning in. We are excited today to be talking through Live Out Love, um, fabulously leadership event. And the purpose of this discussion is really to enhance and promote love in leadership within business. Now, I don't know if you're aware of it, but love is an important aspect to leadership in the world and to success in your business. And today we're going to be talking through with 24 different guests. Actually, today we're going to start with 12. Tomorrow we'll have 24 in total with the other 12. So very various leaders speaking through their viewpoints and their perspectives on how to make your business and your financial, personal, health, and relational lives more successful. So what I want to do is I want to kind of go through a few things with you all as we take this first session to really sort of ground you in leadership, um, and basically some of my own personal philosophies in this area. So first of all, I just want to welcome you to this event. You are absolutely loved. If you are tuning in this on the replay, we're going to want you to just know that we have been thinking of you coming into this program. We have been hoping for you and intentionally creating what we think is going to be an excellent program for you to enjoy. We have a host of great speakers, individuals who have really done a lot of preparation and work to make sure that this content and material is something that you're going to get a lot of value out of. And so I hope that you feel loved. Put in the chat if you feel loved today, because you are absolutely loved coming into this session. All right. So one thing, we are actually sponsored in part with the Gaily Impact. I just wanted to let you know the Gaily Impact is an LGBTQ to all nonprofit. It is a house of love focused on personal empowerment, strengthening relationships, and championing seniors, no matter what kind of human you are. And some of our really important facets of love that we celebrate as values are having a purpose, financial literacy, leadership, entrepreneurial service in business, family, and championing our seniors. And you can see this event for us has a lot of areas that we cover. You're going to have some of our speakers touching on purpose. We're going to talk about financial literacy. We're going to absolutely talk about leadership, and we're going to talk about entrepreneurship. So just so you all know, by participating here, you will be now a part of the Gaily Impact family, and you'll receive our newsletters. All right, so I just want to give you all a little bit of brief overview of what we're going to be doing today. So our agenda, we actually have 5 of us speaking. I'm your intro, I'm your warm up, and then we're going to have 4 great speakers, a little break, 4 additional speakers, a break, and then 4 more. So that just gives you a little bit of the lay of the land as you think about your breaks through the day. Obviously, if you're participating the whole time, you have mute on your line, but participate in the chat, put your thoughts in, and let us know what you're thinking. Be present and your camera on if you can. So I think we have some different individuals in the chat. Go ahead and tell me where you are from, and we'll know where you are. We'll be asking you questions throughout to throw into the chat, and that helps us just sort of know where you're at and what is meaningful to you as we go through this experience together. So really encourage you to put your cameras on if you can, and absolutely participate as we go through. All right. So we're talking about love in leadership. And the very first question I really want to ask you is, who are you? Who are you? Um, what are you? Who are you? Who do you say that you are? If you want to throw some of those things in the chats, I say things like, I'm a father, I'm an executive, or I'm a business owner, right? These are These are I am statements. I am a business owner. Um, a um, I am a leader, right? Well, those are great things. But I would also suggest to you that there are ways of being as a leader, ways of being as a leader that also describe you. So I could say that I'm an executive. For example, for many, many years, I wore the name executive, whether it was VP or chief product officer, senior director, whatever the title was, right? But there were certain ways of being that we associate to these things. So I'll give you some examples. I can say that I'm a strict executive. I can say that I'm a stern executive. I can say that I'm a powerful executive. I can say that I am a kind executive, a loving executive, a shrewd executive, right? So all of these different terms that we associate to the term like executive or business leader, they're very, very important because they actually frame who we are being in terms of this name, right? So if I throw out, let's just say I throw out business leader, what are some of the words you might associate with a business leader? Throw those in the chat, right? What are some of those things? I see we have people from Wyoming and Atlanta tuning in from Casper. Very nice. So if you think about things like executive or business leader, you may have certain words for those things. And I want you to think about right now, if you were to think about what you identify as in terms of your business leadership, what are some of the ways that you would describe yourself in that? You are responsible, you are powerful. I see one word powerful, I see controlling. There are different ways that you are when you are a leader. And what I want to suggest is that for your business to have the level of success you want, for or desire, that your heart truly desires, for your relationships to have this, for your team. So as I think about teams of people that I've led through an acquisition, right? One example, I had to lead a team of 150 people through a transition. We were going through $50 million of business. We're moving from one asset to another area in the company. And who I needed to be to move all those people over successfully, right, was a way of being. And I would suggest in this entire construct for this discussion today is that the most powerful way you can choose to be is loving. Okay. And sometimes it doesn't seem like that because a lot of the world of business is war, right? We think of it like war and battle. But the reality of it is that as you think about ideas within your business that are going to make it truly, truly love your employees, who will love your clients, you're going to want to embody loving things. Now, discipline, sternness, having shrewdness are all loving things, right? It just depends on where they're coming from. I see idea generation. I see things like being passionate or compassionate in your business leadership, all very appropriate. Now, I want to talk to you, I'm going to tell you all a story. I want you all listen into a little story about leadership. And it's gonna take you kind of picture this for a moment, right? I'm a 7-year-old version of myself, okay? A 7-year-old version of myself. This smiling little boy, right, who's playing with Barbies and Legos. Those are my two like favorite things to play with. Well, I overhear my mom, and my mom says that she's concerned about me being a certain word to my aunt. And I didn't know what this word was. It was actually a Spanish word called joto. And I went over to the playground, left my toys, and I asked the kids what it meant. It was in the playground. It was like the backyard. The kids were playing in the backyard, right? And I found out the word was gay. And I went back to my mom and my aunt who were there, and I asked my mom, Mom, what does the word gay mean? And she explained the word, and she explained that it was when men were with men or women with women, and that that wasn't good, and that God would have a problem with that. And I realized at that moment that this word was often associated to me. So I'd heard the word gay before, not the word joto. And I realized that I could be this thing. And if I was this thing, I would be separated from my family and from all my friends and from God. Okay. So that was like one example of a small story where all of a sudden a little child changes and shifts their understanding of who they are. Now, that's one story. That's my story. Actually, there are like so many other stories just about me that make my naturally loving self less than loving. Now, I want you to think about your own life. There are moments in your life. This is way before we become executive or a business leader, right? There are so many moments in your life where you were told, you know what? Girls do this. You know what? Boys can't do this. You know what? Indians can only do this. Oh, you're Black, you can only do that, right? There are various constructs that are placed around us as people. And that affects one of the most important things to your leadership. And that aspect is your own view of yourself. So I'm going to suggest to you that one of the most important things in leadership and in becoming a great leader is to break out of boxes and build yourself as a human. Breaking boxes and building humans is what I say I do, right? In terms of leadership, in terms of businesses, this is the biggest issue facing individuals and facing small businesses and facing large businesses today. And why do I say that? I say that because so much of our creativity, so much of our capability, so much of our ability to serve clients and our ability to work with colleagues, to restructure and rethink is built off of how you think, who you believe you are, and what you believe you're capable of. And if you think about it, I have the picture here of these two individuals. These two individuals are both busily working. Each of them have boxes around their thoughts and boxes around their feelings. They have limitations that are imposed upon themselves, right? Oh, I am woman, or I am man, or I am only an executive, or I'm a senior director, I'm not a CEO, right? We do this every day. We decide which game we're going to play in the game of life. And through those boxes and our thoughts and our feelings, through our definitions of our I am, we sit in our world and create the value we can. But notice the boxes around the two individuals, right? They're also boxed in their connections based upon their own boxes in their own lives. So this is the paradigm we all go on into the world. To become leaders, what you don't realize, or maybe you do realize, is that your entire team, whether you are self-employed and you're just talking about your clients, right? If you've got a small team of, let's say, 5 or 6 individuals on your team, they have these same boxes around their thoughts and their feelings. Or if you're leading a huge team of 750 people, everyone's coming to you, right? With these various boxes or constructs that limit their abilities, limit their thoughts, and limit what they can create on your team. Now, because of those boxes, right? Hey, Magic Mike, welcome. We've got different, that affects the words that we create, that we put into the universe, our expressed intentions, right? So I'll use an example, right? I'm in a corporate executive meeting and we say, hey, we can go do this. And someone says, no, we can't, right? I don't, that's ridiculous. What's that? Those are boxes that are coming through. They don't see the possibility because their light is dimmed inside. Happens all the time. And until you can say it, you usually can't go and make it happen, right? So this is a model. This is a reality that's happening in an executive room when you're running your business and deciding, can I obtain that next client? You are often living out the boxes that you have in your being. Now, I'm going to give you another example of something that's very different. Let me use the example of being loving, right? So one of the experiences I had in the LGBTQ community was when we went through the pandemic. I went through a loss of my job, and I asked myself, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I decided I was going to do something extremely loving with big intention for other people. Okay. I just was like, I had the time. Let's do something meaningful. And the reason I'm going to tell you this story is what I want you to know is that your being is everything for success. Who you are being. And this is not woohoo. This is true. This has been true every time I've done a turnaround inside of a corporation, right? Um, I, 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 I have seen, um, I have seen this play out. So after the pandemic, was kind of looking around and I decided I was going to join a corporation that had a huge challenge. We were losing so many clients, right? And I walked into a team that was entirely broken down. People were depressed. People were angry. They hadn't been paid well. They didn't have hope, right? You walk into your clients' lives and they are the same way. Oftentimes, your job is to create impact. And for you to create impact in people's lives, it's about your being, right? Have any of you experienced that you've had to be something when you walk into a room? In this story that I want to tell you, we were doing terribly. And what I had to be, I had to walk into each team and be extremely loving. What does loving mean? Listening, connecting, understanding, and trusting that everyone in the room had something to offer. Everyone in the room has something to give. A lot of times when you are working with a one-on-one client, or if you're working with a team of individuals, you have to be the person that is the source of love to everyone else. You have to see the good in every team member that you're touching. And then there's everything else you do is based upon who you walk into the room as a leader, right? So if you think about it, I have these three elements of seeing, doing, and having. So in this example, this corporation was doing terribly bad in sales, right? I had to start to see the possibilities that no one else could. You know what? We could create this, we could create this. And the more and more that you're loving other people around you, guess what? They start to see possibility. So if you're facing into your business and you don't see where you can grow, you don't see how you can make it happen, right? A lot of times you're going to look to your being, right? Who am I being? Am I being loving to my business right now? And am I finding other people who might be able to help me? This conference, this discussion that we're going to have together is about connecting you to other individuals who may help you see what you cannot see right now. A lot of times we can't see everything if we're a solopreneur because we're the only person that's in that space, right? So this is an opportunity as leaders to take that and gain others' insight. But if you're the leader, right, and you've got a team of people, you get to help them see through the kind of leadership you have. And if it's loving, you're going to encourage everyone's voice in the vision and creation of your business. The doing, one of the things that's so interesting about being a business person on this screen, you can feel it. You can feel it when you go into a room of individuals. You can feel it when an executive is presenting. If someone is not being loving, being sincere, being connected, we can feel it. We can feel it in the way someone comes across and the way they communicate. And that's something that feels like feelings, but it's something that we're built with as humans. We have this intuition and we can sense and know. You know it. You worked with a colleague, and in this particular business environment, we were often not being loving with each other. We were not being loving with our clients, right? So it is through our being that you actually create amazing client connection. And it's also then the things that you get. So the monies that we get, for example, you'd be given a certain budget, right? How you use that budget, how you direct it to your employees or to others, right? And in the case of being a solopreneur, how you take your dollars and reinvest them into your vision or reinvest them into who you are and your own self-care is going to determine your business. So here's the thing, right? All of this beingness is whether you're a CEO or whether you are literally just an employee. You are constantly being something in the world. And if you want to access the most amount of wealth, whether that's dollars, whether that's relationship, whether that's health, your entire life, your being is the most precious and valuable asset that you have. Now, here's the thing. I don't know about you all, but I'm like, this is all great. And for me, this isn't something I can act on, right? It's not something that I can go like, oh, well, how do I go be more? I can do some of it, right? I can be loving. I can say mantras about my lovingness or my wealth, and those have become very, very popular. But one of the things I want to communicate to you, and one of the things that I really feel strongly is about, is that you can measure your being. You can actually measure your being in meaningful areas that show you where your boxes are. Where, remember, I talked about the boxes, right? Where are my boxes cut off such that I'm not able to walk into a room and do my best work? You want to be able to do your best work because as a leader, your best is going to be the level and grade of the people around you, right? You're going to want to bring people forward, whether it's your clients, whether it's a team of individuals that you're leading, whether it's a whole group of 6,000 individuals that you're leading, right? Your own personal excellence. I define personal excellence as doing your best with what you've been given. For some of you may know, I'm a Boy Scout. Our motto was do your best. And you know what? It's literally the most important thing for a leader is to strive to do our best. And what I found is that measuring your personal excellence, measuring where your boxes are limited in your thinking, in areas like your decision making, your self-worth, your ability to build rapport, your ability to execute, your ability to influence, all of these various areas, the most important person that's going to unlock the leadership you need to unlock in others is you, right? We're in the leadership game is a love game. And so I would invite you, you may find I have a personal excellence assessment that's included in our VIP package. I would totally invite you to look at that. But I would say that anything that you're doing in your leadership that's focused on unlocking your own way of thinking, right, and around your excellence is going to move your business forward. And that's why we're here. Let me give you one more story. I was talking to an executive that I coach here in Atlanta, and this gentleman has businesses. He's got about 17 clinics, right, that he's running across the state of Georgia. And his next level of excellent thinking is to think about how he can help others in other states, right? So he specializes on a very particular type of mental challenge. And he has not yet thought, he's doing fabulous here in Georgia, right? But he wants to serve others more. He wants to do more, right? So he's in this state of, he has a lot he has a lot of good money, right? But his vision gets to be bigger. His vision gets to be higher for more of the clients he wants to serve. And the way he's going to do that is by pushing forward and becoming even more excellent in his vision, even more excellent in his ability to influence, even more excellent in his ability to lead, because he's going to want to take his business to the next level and start to bring in leaders who can run Georgia underneath him so he can go start to introduce services for children in Alabama, in Florida, and other places. So this is a true game, no matter where you sit, right? In terms of a business leadership, whether you're an employee or whether you're the CEO, you are constantly in an excellence game. And what I would suggest to you all, I want to encourage you all, I strongly encourage you consider the VIP experience. Das is going to drop that into the chat for those of you here, and we'll also have that in the YouTube recording at the bottom. This is not only, you're going to get a chance to take the personal excellence assessment. Just the assessment alone is $100 value, okay? But on top of that, yes, you'll have lifetime access to this. You'll get 30 minutes with me. You get a previous masterclass we did on how to be healthy, wealthy, and happy. There's an empowerment guide you're going to get. You're going to get 15 minutes of busy men and women's guides for fitness, but also some of the speakers have thrown additional values. There's a highly sensitive person's toolkit, and then 3 business conversations around vision and purpose, digestive system to profit, and which is better poops to bigger profit, and a business culture call, which is really about how your culture is that you're building. This isn't a lot of money, $129 for a $2,370 value. Sign up for that. The link's in the chat. But what I want you to get from that is there's a personal excellence assessment with that. And what I'm going to do is for anyone who does this, who signs up for the VIP during this experience, I'm actually going to throw in my personal reading. So that excellence assessment is actually like a palm reading. Okay. And it's something that you can track over time. So as you improve your leadership game, as you expand your thinking as an executive or a business leader, you're going to actually be able to see and track that. And that's where this had tremendous value to me. I just am not a woo-woo person that way. I need to see data and I need to see myself expand. And it's a great way to do so. The other thing I'm going to tell you all about throughout this experience, I'm going to be hosting a masterclass on leadership. We're just going to work through some a leadership challenge that you're seeing next week for free. So that'll be a 2-hour engagement, and we'll be dropping a link for that in the chat for those of you who want in on that. Or you can always book a call with me, and there's a link for that as well. All right. So that is that's really what's really, really exciting to me about leadership, and really exciting to me about helping the world, right? Because I really believe that leader by leader, we get the kind of change we want to see in the world. I don't know if that is helpful for you. So put in the chat if you have any questions at all or any thoughts, particularly concerning love as a central part of leadership. Do you think that love is part of leadership? Do you think that love is an essential aspect to leadership? All right.